being here, there's obviously black people, which there's none over there. The first time I went over there, I actually saw a black dude in the grocery store, and he had an Irish accent, and it blew my mind. The one thing I remember so vividly is like how hot this woman's breath was. Tell me why this lady cut a bald spot in my head.
Do you think being, I guess, an outsider in that country turned you into a little bit more of an extrovert than you would have been otherwise? All right, so if you were on the hunt, if you're on the prowl, if you're out there getting a little active, what was like the go-to line to these foreign ladies? Whoa. Right. What the fuck? And we're in.
Yeah, we in here.
We in, I guess.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
Man, I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Beneath the Bullshit. If it's your first time here, welcome. Today I have entrepreneur, photographer extraordinaire, local celebrity, internet sensation, DarnellDelivers.
Yeah, what's good, man? I appreciate you having me.
Yeah,
sure.
It's exciting. We're kind of branching out, and this is the first step to that.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to be here. This is actually my first podcast appearance. I've recorded a lot of podcasts.
Really?
I haven't been on one. So
really, time to tell your story.
My first time, yeah, and I be wanting to say some stuff too.
Okay. Well, we got some stuff to dive into today.
Stuff to talk about now.
So I guess I just want to start at the beginning. Like, what got you into photography? Like, what is? Because so you told us a little bit of your backstory, but I wanted to tell the people too.
Yeah. So originally with photography, I did a little bit in college. My roommate was a photographer.
Where'd you go to college at?
So I actually went to college in Scotland. Yeah, so I went to City of Glasgow College, and my roommate was at a different college, but he was studying photography.
Huh.
And he used to use me as a model sometimes, and then I would assist him on some shoots and stuff like that. So I found it interesting at that point, but I had a little film camera. That was it. Didn't even have like a DSLR or
nothing big,
like
nothing
that.
fancy.
No, not at all.
So you went to school in Scotland. Why Scotland?
So my dad took us all over there. He was studying at a school in Chicago and did a 3-month exchange program. So he took us all over there. It was just supposed to be for 3 months and ended up being 14 years. Yeah, so it was quite a while.
Damn.
And so we moved around over there a little bit, and then I ended up going to college. I was actually homeschooled first of all, so I didn't even I went to a school over there for a little bit, but I was homeschooled most of the time, and then went off to college.
Damn. Damn. What's the big difference you see with I guess living in both places, and as far as school wise, what's the? So
school over there is free. That's a big thing. So college was free. They also,
everything.
Yeah, everything. They also start paying you I think it starts at 15 or 16 when you're in high school. You get an option. You can either leave school and go get a trade job or work or just go do whatever you want to do at that point, or you can stay in school for those last 2 years. So what would be your junior and senior year here? You could skip that if you wanted to and just not do it legally.
Huh.
But over there, if you stay in school, they start paying you. So they start giving you probably the equivalent of maybe a couple $100 a month.
Really?
Something like that for staying in school. And if you go to college, they give you a grant, so you get some money for that you don't have to pay back. And then you also get a student a loan too, which you technically are supposed to pay back, but you don't have to pay it back unless you make a certain amount of money.
Oh,
so
okay.
In my case, and I'm not saying obviously I'm not advising anybody to do this, but I left the country, so I never got a job over there, so I don't have to pay it back because I'm just, as far as they're concerned, I've just been unemployed for this whole time.
Shit.
Hope they ain't coming after me, but anyways, yeah. So
Where do you prefer living at?
Man, it's pros and cons. Being here, there's obviously black people, which there's none over there. I was there 14 years. I was the only black American. There's some Africans and stuff like that.
And you said you didn't get the accent when you was
man, I had
there.
to keep my accent. I had to. I mean, I definitely picked up some phrases and some words just because you don't want to just be speaking a different language.
Yeah.
You want to communicate in a way that they're going to understand you. So I definitely picked up some of their phrases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, I kept my accent, for sure. It definitely helped. Because even like with the racism and stuff over there, is like,
you experienced that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, and it's funny too because it's like they would treat me one way when I hadn't said anything yet. Like if I hadn't spoken, they're just basing it off of how I look. So like I might go into a restaurant or I might go into a club, like be in line at a club, and they, like not letting me in or something like that until I start talking, and then they're like, oh wait, he's American, he's not like an African dude or whatever, and the whole
so it's not
even
skin color
based.
It's
it's like cultural
racism.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
a lot of things I hear about other countries is like the lack of racism, but I guess I haven't talked to anybody who's experienced it firsthand.
Yeah, no, there's racism everywhere.
Because like when I go to Mexico, because I'm a Mexican, so I experienced that down there a little bit. Everyone stares because like there's dark Mexicans, but there's no.
It's not common. Huh?
It's not common to be black in Mexico. Yeah. So like I'll go to towns, like I'll go to little towns and like experience that. Like people are like staring, people are like not expecting me to speak Spanish. People are not expecting me to.
You must hear a whole lot that you're not meant to hear, huh?
Just the other day we were at Chipotle, and this group of, it was like 2 girls and a guy. They were talking about our baby, like about how she was really white.
Damn.
How she's like, oh, look at that little white baby, and I could understand them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I looked over because I could hear them, and then Keely heard a word I taught her.
Yeah.
And she was like, what the fuck? Like she's mean mugging these people from across. We're standing in line, and I'm just like, I didn't say anything because what they said wasn't really bad, in a sense, but it was just like unnecessary, unnecessary. So she's like mean mugging them, and then she's asking me, what did they say? What did they say? I'm like, they didn't say anything bad. They didn't say anything bad. They were just basically saying like, oh, look at that little white baby.
Right.
And then
how did they say it?
Not in a negative tone, in a positive tone, but still it was a little bit disrespectful.
Right.
And she took it that way, and I was like, I'm not. Like, The thing is, I didn't feel in the place to say anything. But then they said
sometimes it's not worth it. That's really what it is.
Then they said to her, they're like, your baby's so cute.
Okay.
Not thinking that we understood what they said.
Yeah.
And so that, like, I hear that all the time. Or like I work at a smoke shop. I manage a smoke shop during the day.
Okay. So
people come in there not speaking English, and they'll have a whole conversation like trying to figure out what they want, and then eventually they'll be like, "Well, ask the guy this," and I just answer,
right?
Because I'm like, there's no need to, and they're like, "Oh, you spoke Spanish this whole time." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I'm not gonna."
Yeah, you don't lead with it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lead with that until you need it, Unless I know you need the Spanish, I'm not gonna bust it out.
I wish I was bilingual. I ain't gonna lie. Like they speak English in Scotland. Like,
so it's not. It's just accent.
Yeah, it's just the accent. It's crazy. Although,
what other countries have you been over in Europe?
So all of the UK, Scotland, England, Northern Ireland, even the Republic of Ireland, which is its own country. Country. Wales. And then I've also been.
Is Ireland an island? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's an island.
Okay.
And it's separated into two. There's Northern Ireland, which is a part of the UK.
Okay.
And then there's the Republic of Ireland, which is an independent country. It's a part of the EU, but it's not a part of the UK. And
a lot of 4-leaf clovers.
I honestly only been to the Republic a couple times, but it's funny too because the first time I went over there, I actually saw a black dude in the grocery store, and he had an Irish accent, and it blew my mind. I was like, "What the hell?" Because it just sounded so unnatural.
It's like weird to see it, right?
Oh man!
Well, that's
so
what
weird.
I feel like people think when I speak Spanish.
Yeah,
because it's not like I speak in Dominican Spanish or Puerto Rican Spanish.
Oh,
the dialect is different.
So this is a question I have. So like I've heard this phrase dialect before. And I know it means just like kind of, because like even in Scotland, they'll kind of talk about dialects because of all of the different, like you go 20 minutes away from where you were and hear an entirely different accent.
I guess a way to describe it would be like if you were in America and you talk to someone from the South and someone from Chicago.
So is it?
It's just different accents. Different accents.
So it's
different
phrases,
slang, different phrases, different. Okay. Like what's a word you say in Chicago?
Shit, woo up the bam. No,
Woo up the bam, man. Woo up the bam. Yeah, but you don't hear that.
No,
down
you're not
south.
gonna hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't, or just like the just different accents. Like that's what they would call a dialect, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if you go to Mexico, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Ecuador, Spain, Dominican Republic, it's all Spanish.
Yeah.
But
Different.
I sometimes struggle understanding Dominicans when they speak Spanish because
okay.
it is there's such a twang to the way they talk. Like it's so fast and there's so much slang to it.
Okay.
But then some people say they don't understand Mexico Spanish.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of slang to it. There's a lot of I think Spain is like the most formal Spanish I've heard.
I was gonna say, so one of my friends, like in college, we hung out, and it's crazy too, bro, because we hung out for years, 2-3 years together. It was him and his roommate that lived together. They were both from Basque County, in like northern Spain.
Yeah.
And they used to speak Spanish to each other sometimes. They used to be on the phone talking to people, back home in Spanish. And I didn't pick up any Spanish from them over like 2 years of hanging out, like just because we was smoking weed and chilling and just bullshitting around. Like
it's hard to pick it up,
but it's like there was no intention. Like, and I, the one time I might have had any intention is when some of their friends came to visit and there was a Spanish girl, and that was the only time I was like, damn, I wish I knew Spanish. But I was
trying to spit some game real quick.
The only moment that I ever thought about it, like, damn, why haven't I learned anything? But other than that, like, I just was being, I don't know, we was just hanging out. And I was just kind of leaving them to it. But
Spain Spanish, I feel like I think it's hard to learn because, well, to me at least, speaking Mexico Spanish, like you learn Spain Spanish in school.
Yeah.
Like the Spanish you learn in class is usually Spain Spanish,
right?
Just because it is like the most formal. So a lot of the times when I was in Spanish classes, I would say a word, and the Spanish teacher who learned Spanish as like later in school would be like, "What are you saying?"
Wait, and so you learned from where?
That's my first language. So my mom,
really? Okay.
my mom taught us Spanish growing up. So like I didn't speak English till I was, I think, probably right before kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
So like, I mean, you learn English, but I learned from cartoons.
Right.
Like my family tried to speak only Spanish at home, and back then it was easier because my mom's from Mexico. My grandparents are from Mexico. Aunts and uncles from Mexico. Back then, everyone spoke Spanish to each other. Nowadays, I see it's a little bit harder. Oh, really? Like I have a lot of cousins who don't even speak Spanish now because like we're all so Americanized or whitewashed, as you could say. There's a lot of no sabo kids, if you know what that means.
I've heard the phrase, but
it means like, so in Spanish, if you say to know, it's saber. But when you conjugate it to a different tense, you change it to se. Okay. So like if you say I know, you don't say yo sabo.
Okay.
You say yo sé because you have to change the tense. So it's just and kids who don't know how to conjugate say sabo.
Oh, so it's a way of like you're saying something that's the incorrect way.
Yeah,
say, like, but that's how they would say it because they don't know.
And growing up, I had a lot, like my family will tell me like I said a lot of things wrong.
Okay.
And
like what's funny is I thought that because what is it, no sabo? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I used to think that just must have meant like, I thought it was like the word for like not speaking Spanish or something like that. Like they don't speak. Like I thought that's what it was. That's actually
it's well, people say it when they don't know a word. They say no sabo,
right?
When they're supposed to say no sé.
Okay.
And so like if you don't know how to say something, you say no sabo decir eso.
Okay.
Instead of saying yo no sé decir eso. Like so, it's just but it can be any word that you don't conjugate the right way. Okay. It's just it's really just it's. I hear it all the time because I have a lot of friends and stuff that like don't know.
So where did you grow up?
So I grew up 2 hours northeast of here.
Okay.
It's a little like right outside the suburbs, Morris. So if you take 80 route I-80 all the way to Chicago, like you'll pass it. Okay. But it's right by Joliet. Like that that area.
I know where Joliet is.
Little and I get what you're saying about like no black people being around because I graduated with one black guy or two black guys, Drayden and Justin. Okay. Us two. That's it in the whole school. Well, in our grade. People? A big we graduated class was like 200-300. Okay. But there's no like I didn't have any black friends growing up besides Drayden. Yeah,
that's how like in Scotland that's kind of how it was for me. When I got to college, like I met like some African guys and stuff like that.
That's different.
I hung out with a guy. He was from France actually. He's from Paris. He was
I know that France has a lot of African.
Yeah, they do. They got a lot of black people.
I feel like there's a big difference with a black guy and an African guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the culture.
The culture is entirely different, and even within their cultures, like you got the Nigerians, you got the Ghanaians, then you got, you know, maybe some Kenyans, and
the
Ugandans, yeah, like all of their cultures are different. They do definitely feel more connected to each other than they do Black Americans.
If you're still smoking regular tobacco wraps, I think it's time to switch it up. So Fruit Peels is 100% natural fruit wraps. No nicotine, no additives, no nothing. They are like the cleanest wrap you can possibly get. I don't indulge as often as I used to, but when I do, it's got to be something clean, you know? So Fruit Peels does just that for me. They burn slow. They taste great. And honestly, once you try them, you probably won't go back. Honestly, some of the best wraps you can get on the market right now. So go show the people who support this show some love. Head over to realfruitpeels.com and use code BULLSHIT at checkout for an extra 12% off. That's code BULLSHIT, BULLSHIT at checkout for an extra 12% off. You said you, just to cut that off.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut that off real quick. You said you modeled too.
Yeah, I had.
So how'd you get into that? You just said it just kind of happened. Like
that started when I was a baby. Well, not baby, but kid. The first thing I ever did was I was probably like 5, and I did a McDonald's ad. I was in a magazine. I was looking into a Happy Meal. Yeah, I'll send you the picture. And
here in the U.S.
You can put it up on the thing. Yeah, this was in America, so this was in Chicago. My mom had got me and my sister into modeling. But I'm like 5 years old. I'm looking into a Happy Meal. And I remember that whole process so vividly, like going to this studio, like the photographer giving me instructions and the other model. And I just remember the lady that they had playing my mom, because it's a black lady. She's like leaning over my shoulder. She's smiling. I'm looking into the Happy Meal box. And the one thing I remember so vividly is like how hot this woman's breath was on the back of my neck. Like I just kept thinking like it wasn't that it smelled bad. It was just hot. I'm like, why is her breath so hot? Like it feels like a furnace is like blowing on me. Like, and I'm like, why is she breathing through her mouth instead of her nose? Like what's going on? But it was fun. Like they kept telling me to like run up this little staircase thing, come back down, and they put a new toy in the box so that I'd be like, oh, you know, smile.
Yeah.
And they had tons of food.
This aired? Like
this was in a magazine. So it was a picture.
Okay.
It was in a magazine for like a year or something like that. And what was crazy too is that so it was a couple things. So one, my mom took us to get brand new clothes to do the pictures. This was before we even got this gig. She took us to get pictures. And we went to the mall. And I'm like, why are we at the mall? We don't buy clothes from the mall. Like, we buy clothes from the thrift store. So what we doing in the mall? She buys us brand new outfits. Buys me a Michael Jordan Bulls jersey. Shorts, top, everything. Tuxedo, not a tux, but like a pinstripe suit. Like, everything. Shoes. Mm-hmm. And then like a little preppy outfit. Yeah. You know, like whatever. I'm like, dang, I'm lit. Like, I look too good. I'm finna wear this stuff all the time. We go take the pictures. She returned all that shit. Everything. And then, but we got the job after that. That McDonald's thing paid $1,500 for 2 hours. We was in that studio 2 hours taking those pictures. That was it.
That's not bad.
$1,500. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm
this
definitely
my shit. Yeah.
Every cent of that went to bills. I ain't seen not one dime of that money. My mom's still like, yeah, we had bills to pay. I'm like, I couldn't have got nothing off of it. Like, man. Fuck. But it was fun. I did that. I did got milk.
Shit, yeah. You was that kid.
Yeah, I was like in a school. It was a bunch of kids. It was like we was all in the school.
Yeah.
You know, they was taking pictures around the gymnasium and like on the bleachers, and they gave us this stuff. They like put this cup, super unsanitary now that I think about it, because they went around with the same cup every kid. And it was just full of like foam and stuff. And they were like, don't drink it. Like making sure like, don't swallow this. And I'm like,
oh, fuck.
Like, what is it? So they were like, just put it up to your lip and like, let it touch the top of your lip. And it just put this thick ass milk mustache, like on the, you know, on the top of our lips. And, you know, they took the got milk pictures for that. And then like some stuff for like, we were in like school books. Textbooks, English to Spanish textbooks.
Okay.
Stuff like that. My sister was in one. And it was hilarious because they had a Asian lady playing the teacher. But my sister, who was only probably, if I was like 7 at the time, she'd probably been like 9. She was taller than this Asian teacher. Like literally, when you look back at the pictures, you like, I can't tell which one of them is the teacher in this magazine or this whatever. So yeah, it was like we did like little stuff like that. And then I got over to Scotland and I did a little bit of modeling over there.
Yeah.
Just kind of random stuff. Like I literally had, cause again, no black people.
Yeah.
So like I'd be walking down the street and like one of the kind of busy streets where all the shops are on. It's called Sucky Hall Street. And I would just be walking down that, and I remember being on the phone and this girl stopped me. And she was like, "Excuse me, can I ask you something?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "I'm a hairstylist at this salon, and for like my next," she basically said I was looking for a model. This is the thing too, is she said I'm looking for a model with like curly hair, and I was thinking like my hair is not really curly. Like I wouldn't have described it as that because I'm like I had a fro growing out kind of. It wasn't even like an actual fro.
Yeah,
it was just like my hair was just growing out. But I get what she meant. She was basically saying like she needs to cut a black person's hair. That's what the thing was. And so she asked me to do it. So I was like, all right, yeah, cool, whatever. Free haircut. So I went, and it wasn't until I got there that I realized she was like in training. And so that's why she was doing this, because she needed to show her teacher that she knew how to do this.
Yeah.
So they was looking for a model. Tell me why this lady cut a bald spot in my head. And then she didn't even say nothing about it. The teacher said something because he came over and seen it and was like showing me. He was like, all right, so just so you know, like, and then like show me the back. And it was like right back here was just like an inch wide. Like it was like, I don't know how she did it, honestly. I think maybe the guard slipped. Cause I cut hair for a while. I was a barber for a while. Yeah. So I don't know if the guard slipped or what, but it was like a good inch, like just straight skin, like right in the middle right there. But I ain't hold it against her. You know, she was nice. She was
I mean, free haircut too.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool. But then they ended up hiring me to do a hair show for them too. Like later on. So that led into that. So I did that. They also had a.
This is a long journey.
Man, and it was all random. Like this stuff. None of this was me ever seeking anything out. The one time, what's funny is I did all of this stuff randomly from people approaching me. The one time that I actually went out and tried to do something, I got rejected because I went to an agency. And they had like open calls, like they had a time where you can come in and blah, blah, blah. And the lady was like, "Oh, we really love your face. Like you know, you got a great look, but like you're just too tall."
Too tall?
Yeah, they said that. They were like, we do all like our fashion and stuff. They were like, when the designers send us clothes, it's just standard sizes. So they were like, you have to be able to fit what they send.
And you weren't going to be able to.
Yeah, they were like, all the sleeves will be way too short. Even like when your pants are going to be too short, like stuff like that. Because they were like, we're looking for male models. Plus, the average height in Scotland is probably like 5. For men, it's probably like 5'9" or something. You know, it's not like it's, you know, super tall or something like some other Northern European countries. And so she said, she was like, yeah, when we get the stuff, like we're looking for male models that are like no taller than 6'2". She was like, if you were like 6'3", we might be able to push it. But like, she measured me and I'm 6'5". So she was like, yeah, there's just no way. And that was the only time I ever actually tried. And so that kind of was just like, all right, well, fuck it. You know, never mind.
What is it like in the UK or in Europe in general being 6'5" and black? Because you know who I be seeing a lot right now that is blowing up for that shit? His name's King 6'8" the Great.
Yeah.
You see that dude?
Yeah.
Just walks around other places.
And bro, I think about this. I don't want to get into like, I don't like when I'm just thinking, I don't like regretting things or like thinking about like, oh, I should have did this, should have did that. But like one thing I do think about often is like, man, being in Scotland in the situation I was in was very much an opportunity that I kind of blew. But I blew the opportunity for the same reason that it existed. Because the reason it existed was because I was young, black, tall, and you know, some might say handsome. Some might say. You know, my fans, my people that like me, they gonna tell me I look good. People that hate me is the only ones that say otherwise. No, I'm joking. But that reason, so that all of those things were why I could have been like, especially, I mean, back in then, I had a kind of apprehension towards attention at the time. Like I actually wasn't really into it because it happened so much and it was overwhelming because everybody.
You just wanted people to be like, walk like, into a room and not get looks.
Exactly. Not be stared at, not be the center of attention for things that I had no control over. That's really what it came down to is I took no pride in the reasons these people liked me because none of that stuff was anything to do with me. Yeah. Like you like me because I'm black. I didn't have any control over that. Yeah. You like me because I'm tall. Don't have
it wasn't because your name. It wasn't because of your personality.
It wasn't because of things that I chose to be. Yeah. It was things that were natural things that just, whatever. So it wasn't because, oh, that guy's funny.
Do you think you were forced to embrace that though?
Well, it forced me to reject it. That's the thing. And so like, even not wanting to be a stereotype, because I was like, I loved rap music. I loved playing basketball. I loved, things.
But that's what they expected you. Yeah.
So now I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not, especially like when I was younger. When I got a little bit older, I was like, whatever. I started playing basketball, playing sports and stuff. But it was very much like I don't want to reinforce these stereotypes. So I'm going to be different and do something different. And so the same thing with like not really wanting a whole lot of attention,
Right. So do you, I guess, what was your go-to pickup line in Europe? Like because I know, so if you were on the hunt, if you're on the prowl, if you're out there getting a little active, what was like the go-to line to these foreign ladies? What's the because you don't gotta say much.
That's the thing. I didn't have to say anything.
You didn't have to say anything. So this is a smooth little.
I had to say enough to let them know I was American. That was it. I didn't have to say anything past that. As soon as they heard
just
the
like
accent.
How you doing?
And what was crazy is there was some times where I didn't actually have to do that because somebody else with me. Because that's the thing is like clout is a hell of a drug, And so I had friends who were even like good friends, like not knocking them or anything for this, but they would use me for like, be like, oh, we got, come hang out with us. Yeah, my friend's American. Like, he's so cool. Like, you got to come meet him. And they would be saying that.
And then they tell their friends. And then
yeah. And that's the thing is that the reason why I won't knock it is because a couple of my friends have done this, like where they would be talking to a group of girls or something like that. And they would identify who the baddest one was, whoever the finest one was. And they would just immediately assume, oh yeah, DJ's going after that. Yeah, that's going So what they would do though is they would identify that and then be like, but who else is with them? We can get the leftovers or whatever. Like, and so they would literally talk to these girls and be like, oh yeah, you got to come meet my friend. Like, he's from America, blah, 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 blah. And so I'd have girls come up to me and be like, hey, are you American? Just because they've been, described, like I'd been described to them. So it was even before I had spoke or whatever. But again, at the time, that was like, oh yeah, this is so cool. Like, this is so, lit, like whatever. Like, it's so easy. Now I'm older. I'm thinking back on it like, damn, that shit was so dumb. Like, I wasted so much time. I wasted so much like
I feel that.
Like wasting it on people who I don't know now, Like, I don't have any connections to those people. I don't have anything lasting from.
Do you think being, I guess, an outsider in that country turned you into a little bit more of an extrovert than you would have been otherwise? Because you were that center of attention a lot of the times, that you were kind of greeted with this attention everywhere you went. Do you think that kind of helped you be okay with being the center of attention?
That's a good ass question. Honestly, I think it made me capable of playing that role. I think it trained me to play that role, but I think it made me not want to. It made me not want to be an extrovert.
Because me being from a town that was really white, I think being one of the only black guys, you kind of become that token black guy.
Oh man,
you become the guy that they. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you become the butt of the jokes.
Yeah. Oh man, but all the time, honestly.
But other times you become, like you said, the kind of the centerpiece for the group, like the prize of the group. Yeah. Not even to put myself on that level, but you kind of get both ends of it. So I felt that growing up in a town that was really white helped me with my charisma, personality, build that up, because
talking to you have to know how to talk
back. So like I came to college and I was real good with talking to people, good with talking to new people. Yeah. Excuse me. Like even my girl knows that, like before she met, like when I met her, like I was at the parties, talking to everybody, greeting everybody around the blah blah blah, and like I felt that I got that from being the center of attention, and then like coming to a place where I wasn't the only black guy anymore. Man. I feel like it helped me vibe with those people who also came from the same place. Now it's just a team. Now it's just that, like, because the black guys I met here were from similar areas. Okay. That
it's funny you say that, because we literally was just talking about this earlier, and I was saying that going from that to being here, or just in America in general, is I feel like I blend in now. And so now, because you can't just look at me and be like, oh yeah, that dude grew up overseas. So like nobody knows unless I tell them. And so now I went from being easily identifiable, standing out completely, being tall and black, like in a place of, short white people. And so now it's like I'm here and there's plenty of other, black men walking around taller than me. I go play basketball on the regular and there's plenty of guys out there taller than me. Plenty of other guys who are athletic and, look similar, got locks or whatever it is.
Hair is a big thing to me. Nobody had braids, locks.
Man, if I showed you I wish I had a picture to show you right now, like of what my hair looked like when I was in Scotland. It was ridiculous. Like it was like a bird's nest. It was just grown out, like all straight up.
That was me, bro.
It was like Gerald from Hey Arnold, pretty much. Like
my mom would shave my she just, it was the easiest thing to do was shave my head growing up. So I would always have a 0 and a 1 all growing up, because it was the easiest thing to do.
Exactly what I had.
But then I started experimenting, meeting people outside in other towns. Like I had more black friends growing up then in high school and not from my school but from other schools, branching out. And then I didn't get my hair twisted till the end of high school.
Okay, yeah. The first time I got my hair twisted, my mom did it. She was a hairdresser, but
my sister did mine the first time.
I'd have probably been 17, I think, the very first time. And you know what's crazy? It's like, this just brought up a memory. The first time so she twisted my hair. It was the first time I'd even grown my hair out long enough. And she was like, your hair is long enough that you want it twist, you could get them. I'm like, really? I was like, all right, let's do it. So she twisted my hair. I'm like, they wasn't long either.
Yeah,
they was real short or whatever. But I'm still like, oh shit, I ain't never had my hair look like this. It's pretty cool. I go to college the next, because this was at the time I was going to college in the city my parents still lived in. So I hadn't moved out yet. I was 17 or whatever. And these were general education, a general education course to prepare you to go and do some degree somewhere. I get to class and my favorite professor, actually, he was the philosophy professor. He was my favorite teacher out of everybody or whatever. He even gave me a ride to school. He saw me walking, because I used to just walk to college. If he drove past me while I was walking, he'd pull over and be like, "Oh yeah, hop in," because we going the same way. So I used to literally get rides, whatever. First time I come in with my new twist, feeling like, oh yeah, I'm doing something. He's like, "You look like a criminal."
No, because why did my mom say the same shit?
I was like,
nah, she didn't say like a criminal.
Literally made me put a hat on. I'm like, oh shit,
when I what was it? I had to go to court for something. I forget what it was. But I had to go to court for something. I had braids in, and I think, I don't know if it was my mom or somebody, but they were like, "You should, clean yourself up. You should." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Crazy.
Because that's not the perspective you have on it.
Yeah.
It's not the way you're looking at it. I'm just looking at it like it's a nice hairstyle.
Yeah.
It looks good, whatever. But
I had the same thing happen. So even in America, I was working for the government for a little while, and my boss, I was really excited about this job too, because I had the same job, but it was like a travel position, so you'd move around to different facilities.
Yeah.
And the most recent facility that I was at was based in, it was Jersey, and then it was in Philly, but it was the same team and everything. And the supervisor was a 75-year-old black woman, which I thought was dope. Like as soon as but her name was like Barbara something, so I couldn't tell off her name. But then the first time we spoke on the phone, I was like, oh shit, this is a black lady. I'm like, okay, cool. And she was definitely giving like the mom vibes right off the bat, like the way she was talking. But I was just like, oh, nah, that's cool. Like, this is gonna be, whatever. But she used to call me. At the time, I had my locks freeform, so they weren't like this at all. They was just all over the place. Like some of them were like thicker than others. They was some sticking out this way and blah blah blah. It was just like all over the place. And she used to constantly talk about my hair.
My little brother just did
constantly. Yeah, she called me bird's nest and was like, "Yeah, you need to clean that up," and blah 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 and stuff like that. To the point where I was like, I started looking up stuff online, like, "Hey, this is against the law," because they got whole laws in place in Jersey and Philly called the Crown Act, which basically prevents employers from discriminating against you for your hairstyle and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. Not that she was, but I was just like, the way she was saying it was like she thought that I needed to have my hair a certain type of way because of the environment that we were in.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's not the case. Like, I can wear my hair like however I want to.
No, facts. Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy that even black people will do that. She was obviously older, more traditional and stuff like that. But yeah, that hair. I mean, the hair. Like, it's so much. I feel like it's so much about being black that gets policed. Not even just in the literal sense, but just like it's socially policed. Like, oh, you got to be this type of way. You got to act like this, even within our own.
That's
community.
what I got into one of the other episodes. It was like you don't. Like, we're not a monolith, is what my buddy was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not.
I saw that. It was the D1 soccer player. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
You don't have to be to the stereotype.
Yeah.
But,
and you don't got to be tough all the time.
No, not at all. Yeah,
you don't got to be ready to fight. It's a lot to it. And I'm learning that, even still, like I'm still on this journey of kind of like understanding who I am and what I want to be and what perception I want to, show the world or the people around me and stuff like that. And actually, not to kind of come back to, I think the very first thing that you mentioned in this conversation was about being a photographer, is that I think a lot of that ties into that because I get to help somebody else.
That thing, Owen, can you pull up his Instagram? The post you did about the shades of black women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was a good what would you call it, expose? Or
yeah, so like the first, it's a series. It's gonna be a series. So the first one I did was dark skinned women. The second one was light skin. The third one will be kind of mid tone brown skin women.
Okay. So what's the idea behind that? Like, what is the
So the point was, originally it started because it was in February, so it was like a Black History Month thing. That's on the screen if you're looking.
Yeah, it's on the screen. Yeah, I could see what you're doing. Oh.
But the series was originally a celebration of the different skin tones. So it kind of started with the dark skinned women just because more often than not, they're the ones that kind of notice like colorism the most.
Ready to launch your senses into orbit? Meet Galaxy Treats, your cosmic companion for all things elevated. From their mouth-watering Moon Babies gummies to Blast Bars vapes that pack a punch, they've got your taste and toke covered. Prefer a classic puff? Their diamond-coated orbital pre-rolls are like comets for your lungs. And for the connoisseurs, of course, we have Space Nugs THCA flower that offers strains like cereal milk, trop cookies, delivering a stellar experience. All products are crafted in the USA, third-party lab tested, and come with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the top of the description and blast off with Galaxy Treats.
The series started with it started in February, so it's kind of like a Black History Month thing. And it started with the idea of celebrating dark-skinned women.
That one right there, yeah.
Oh, well, this was the second one. So, yeah, this is the second one.
Oh, this is the second one.
This is the second one. Yeah, if you go a little bit further down, you'll see the first one. But it started with, like, celebrating the darker skin tones because they face a lot of colorism. And it was going to be, like...
What is it, that one?
Nah, keep going. It's been a while ago. So that one right there on the left is part of it. Up a little bit. One more. Oh, sorry, down one. Yeah, that one. This was part of it. So I had 7 dark skin models.
Where do you source these people from? Just
so I take pictures at the 9, which is a lounge in Peoria.
Okay.
And I take pictures there every weekend. And so a lot of these models I met there. Okay. I think maybe one of them I met at a fashion show in Chicago. But other than
these are real models, like these are.
Yeah, these are all girls. Well, I won't say. Maybe a couple of them don't really have that much interest in modeling, like specifically.
They just fit the
theme.
The theme.
And we were friends, so I just I asked them to be a part of it. And they said,
This is a good picture. So go to the other one again, Owen.
Yeah. So this was
that's the one. The other one is the one I saw. The second one.
Yeah. That was the.
I think I showed that one to Keely too. I just like the presentation that you did on this one.
Yeah, no, this one was this was a lot of fun. This was
this the one you did?
Weeks ago.
There was one I saw you did a video. It was like behind the scenes at like a shoot with Darnell or whatever. That was something different, wasn't it?
That was the basketball thing, I think.
Oh, okay. Where was the guy sitting in the hotel?
Oh yeah. No, that was a creative meetup that I had organized.
That's
so that was a meetup for, and it was ticketed. I was kind of doing it as a business venture, but it was also with being able to connect creatives to each other. So it's like $20 a person.
Go through this slide. No, back.
And then it's a little arrow on the picture if you see it.
Yeah. See, this is what I was like. This is a good setup. Mm-hmm. The staging of it was really good. It's just good. It kind of give a good I don't know. I was looking at it for like setting up different angles. Like this was a really good setup you did.
And my thing with that was this is why I really enjoy doing group photo shoots rather than just one-on-ones, is because I like when people look at my pictures to have to look at them for longer than just a couple seconds, because
there's so much detail.
Because there's so much. Exactly. That's the whole point, is to have so
the
many
contrasting tones,
the different facial expressions of the people, what they're doing.
It tells a story.
Exactly. That's that's the whole point.
And I really like this one. I like the graduation pictures you did.
Oh,
that stuff. I feel like that's more of just like showing what you can do.
Exactly.
This is a story.
And this was a personal project.
Yeah.
So none of these models
would this get added to like your portfolio?
Exactly.
Or your stuff?
Yeah. And none of them had to pay to be
or like a passion project.
Exactly.
My girl is doing the same thing for her marketing right now.
So like with the graduation pictures, obviously somebody's gonna hire. You got to hire me to do that. But something like this is I thought of this and I was like, I want to do this, and so they in exchange for like a certain amount of pictures and stuff like that, like they get they get compensated in that way. But they were all cool. It was all cool to work with. It was good vibes the whole time.
Do you ever think about moving somewhere that's more curated to creative expression?
Oh yeah,
than Peoria.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, not to knock Peoria at all, because I feel like Peoria is a training ground.
Definitely.
Because especially taking pictures in clubs. Like club photography is probably one of the hardest types of photography.
Very hard.
Because you got drunk people, you got poor lighting, you got moving
It's
subjects.
Very animated. It's very it's everywhere all over the place.
It's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
Like a studio, you obviously in an isolated environment, you can tell people how to move, what to do, you can adjust the lighting and all of that kind of stuff. In a club, you can't do none of that. So you got to be able to capture good quality pictures without, like relying on the other people to help you out. Yeah,
I get that. That. What going back to I have more things on the photography, but going back to the modeling thing, I thought about this when I was looking at. I have my buddy from high school. His name's Justin. Justin Sendra. Shout out Justin Sendra. He does modeling. He did a trip to Alaska, he told me, for a modeling thing, and he works with other companies. And my question with that was, it's like, do you have to have a certain level of like, I don't know what the word would be, but like sexual confidence? You have to be put in positions where you're maybe not the most comfortable. Yeah. And you have to be very confident in yourself. Yeah. Because I see some of the shoots he's done, and I applaud him for it, because it's like, I don't feel like I could put myself in that position. Ah, okay. To like it's like nudity and stuff. I don't. He doesn't do any nudity or anything like that, but it is a little bit more exposed, and obviously he has the figure for it, the physique for it, which like I don't have right now. Nudity, but yeah. Okay. And like, do you think you have to have a certain level of self-confidence, confidence in your sexuality, confidence in your, I guess obviously modeling, confidence in your body? And I mean, for absolutely. Do you ever go into a shoot where you're like, I'm not comfortable with this?
That's only happened one time, where I did a shoot with somebody who I hadn't shot with before, and they were a great photographer. Can't say enough nice things about them. Great photographer. But they did ask me at one point to like take my shirt off, basically. Yeah. And it's not even it's something that I'm like that I would be against, depending on the theme and the whatnot, or like the context or whatever. Because I've had shoots before where I did them shirtless, but at the time I was like, I had a plan in mind. Yeah. Like the idea, I was trying to get a brand deal, basically. So I'm like, I'm here to do pictures for a specific brand, so I need the brand to be showing. So doing anything extra that's outside of that is just not necessary. And so you kind of have to, as a model, you have to be kind of firm, because like a photographer, is going to be looking to get what they want to get out of the shoot. You got to be knowing what you want to get out of the shoot. Now, when those two things align, it's perfect. But if they ever don't align, you got to be able to, say so and not just do stuff because they suggested it. So like even as a photographer now, because I did that before I had even started doing this full time. But now as a photographer, if I'm working with somebody, I kind of make sure that I know exactly what they want to get out of it before we even start. And then I kind of let them lead in terms of like, different poses or, the theme or, if there is going to be any like nudity involved, like that it has a purpose, because there's a lot of. Would you
be comfortable with that? Like if a photographer did ask for, I mean, I guess what's the level of exposure you'd be comfortable with? Because that's something. Where's the line?
Yeah.
Where is the line when you're doing normal photography and when does it cross into adult photography?
I mean, a lot of it depends on the context and the theme, because you can have somebody that's completely naked but it's not sexual.
Exactly.
You can have somebody that's completely sexual but they're not naked. So it all depends on the context of the shoot, what the theme is, who's involved, and everything like that. Right now I'm like 90% focused on photography and 10% focused on modeling. If that might really be 95 to 5.
Yeah, I just took a look at your modeling account.
Exactly. And even on that, a lot of that happened because I was in Chicago.
Okay.
And that's really what it is. I haven't done any modeling in Peoria. All of those shoots happened in Chicago because I was there a lot more last summer. And I might be there a little bit more over this summer, but that's how, though, because it's just way more going on, obviously, up there. So that's really what the extent of the modeling occurred was, it was in Chicago. And with that too, like, I personally think with modeling is that you can do a lot of free stuff, obviously, and you'll get exposure and you'll get good shots and whatnot. But like with modeling, I feel like you have to be very proactive about getting paid, because a lot of the times people will tell you that there's no budget until you say, well, I'm not doing it without one. And then they come back and they say, oh, we managed to find, $300 or we managed to find $500 or whatever. But you wouldn't have known that if you had accepted doing it for free. And that's happened to me multiple times with both, with modeling and with photography, where somebody approaches me with a project and they're like, oh, let's collab. Yeah. And you're like, okay. I don't say okay. I'm like, collab. I'm like, sorry, I don't have any bandwidth for unpaid projects right now.
That's facts.
That's my go-to. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then a week later, they're like, hey, we found the budget. We found some money. But if you had accepted no money to begin with, they wouldn't have been like, oh, well, let's get them paid anyway.
Exactly. Nobody's looking to do that.
Exactly. Closed mouths don't get fed. So you basically have to and I've had models turn me down because I didn't have a budget. But I'm honest, like I'm straightforward. I'm real upfront. Like if I approach somebody and I say, hey, I want to do a project, I don't have a budget because I'm funding this myself. Now, if somebody else is paying me to do something, I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna pay it forward. I'm gonna pay my models if somebody's paying me. But if I'm doing something on my own and I'm creating something or have a personal project and I can't afford to pay the models, then I'll be like, hey, well, I can give you this amount of like pictures from it, that I would usually charge for or whatever. Or I can try and I'll try and communicate with them in some type of way to figure this out. And some of them have just been like, hey, if there's no money, I'm not doing it. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, it's fine. Yeah. I respect that completely. No problem at all. And then some are like, cool, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm, whatever. So it's just it's a communication thing, but you got to set your boundaries for sure.
Yeah. I've been thinking about getting a little bit into photography. I thought I've done a little bit. Oh, and pull up Parkside Exotics on Instagram. I do like a little bit with my animal. The snake. Saw the snake upstairs. I do a little bit of that. Yeah. It's not too much. Yeah. But like my aunt gave me a camera, that Nikon.
Right.
And
What's
me
that?
do
A D30? What is that?
D3000. 3000. Okay. Whatever it is. Like I do shit like that.
Okay.
I like the macro stuff.
I was just gonna say I just got a macro lens.
Really?
Yeah, I just got one. 85 millimeter macro lens.
Really? Go down to the. I
love it too, man. Like it's so cool, and I really like doing portraits with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's so much sharper than like my other 85.
Go down. Show him
which is crazy because like I have
keep going.
I got a full frame 85 millimeter 1.8. And even though it gives that better blur, like the bokeh or whatever they call it, I don't even know. But like whatever that is, that's that's cool. But the macro is way sharper. Even if I think it only goes down to like 2.8 or 3.8 or something.
Down the snake. The sorry
the snakes.
So all those
the 9 pictures of snakes.
Up, go up one more. Up. Up one more. That one right there. Not yeah. So I took these in Missouri.
Okay.
We were out hiking.
What macro lens are you using?
I didn't have them.
Oh, that wasn't even with one?
Lens,
okay.
No. I just had I don't even know what she gave me. I broke that lens that I had before.
Damn.
It fell out of my car.
I dropped the lens for the first time like a week ago. So mad. And it was that macro. It was my macro.
And it had the cover on it too.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
I was like,
but I took those. Go to the next. Go down. Down to the one. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right there. This one is one of my. Nope. Oh, it was lagging. Go up one. Up another. Right there. This one is one of my favorites I've taken. So that's my first snake I had.
Yeah,
but dope, that man. Like that's what, and my girl like we did. I wish I had like a macro lens because I love that type of photography.
Well, if you don't want to spend on a full lens, you can get macro filters that you can screw onto the front of your lens that do a pretty decent job. I tried some from Amazon. They were cheap. Don't get those. But the good ones, there's a company called Prism FX. That's pretty good. And I think you can get a macro lens for probably about like $60, $70. And the lens, a lens is like $300-$400. Like I think I paid $3 something for my lens.
I definitely want to upgrade to a video camera first.
Yeah,
to get a
that's
dedicated
smart,
video camera. That DJI Osmo Pocket 3.
Yeah, I know a girl who got one of those. She uses it a lot, and it's got good quality for sure.
On a 1-inch sensor.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna get one, man, get it soon because the prices have jumped just with all the tariffs and stuff from like China and whatnot.
I've been trying to get one used.
Yeah,
because I think that's the only.
That's probably the best way to go about it. Yeah,
because I'm not trying to spend $800 on
it.
Yeah, and I want the creator combo too because you want the extras.
Yeah,
the basic that I'm just gonna have to buy it myself.
Make sure you enter any of them competitions they be having.
I entered in all of them, bro. My girl be entering too.
Got to.
But damn, what was I gonna say? Oh, one thing I've been seeing the paparazzi shit with Justin Bieber. Have you seen that? What's your take on the paparazzi?
Paparazzi?
Like what
I'm never finna be no paparazzi. The only time I've ever
that was my big question.
Yeah, I'm not finna do that. I have no interest in that. I did that one time with my friend. He this guy Jason McCoy. He's a photographer up in Chicago, and I went out with him one night, and it was funny too how we even met because I posted on Threads, like the Instagram's version of Twitter, basically. Yeah. I posted on that back when I first started doing photography, and I was like, "Hey, I'm in Chicago. If anybody's going out tonight and wants like somebody to just like follow them around and take pictures of them, while, like them and their friends while they're out, I'll work." I was like, "I'll work for free food and drink, And so he replied, and he was like, "I'm a DM you." I'm like, "All right, bet." And I seen his page, and he got like 10,000 followers on Instagram. He's a photographer, so I'm like, "Oh, that's even better." And so I ended up going out with him. And he pulled up in this like black Escalade in front of Soho in Chicago. And I was just like, I started snapping pictures of him as he got out, like making my flash go off like a bunch of times. Like he was like somebody famous, and all the people outside was like, "Oh shit, who's that?" But then we just say it. I was just like, "I'm fucking with you, bro," whatever. But yeah, no, I have no respect for paparazzi.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
So unnecessary. And it's just like, I mean, I get it. They're doing it for money, but like that doesn't. To me, I'm not one of those people
that's
like
invasion of privacy.
Yeah, and I don't think being paid for something justifies, whatever it is you're doing. Yeah. Like my moral compass doesn't spin that way. So that's not something I would personally do. Yeah. It's not something I think is is cool or whatever.
Yeah.
But I know I'd have seen some celebrities get around it by just wearing the same clothes all the time. because then it's the pictures are worthless. Because it's like this the same. They wearing the same shit they wore yesterday or the day before or last week. Like, what are we doing with these?
Our last segment, I want to open. We got our PR box.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
We have 2 sponsors now. Shout out to Galaxy Treats, shopgalaxytreats.com. Link in the description if you want to get your discount. But this is, and then also coming soon, we do have a box from them, but I do not have a link or a code yet from BakeBox. But shout out BakeBox. They did send us some stuff. I'll open BakeBox first because I don't know. He just sent them just because he wants to get something going, but we don't have anything going yet. So this is from BakeBox. They sent custom papers right here. Packs, some paper packs. This is the elevated 70% THCA cherry cola slushy cartridge.
Oh, snap.
Okay. This is not bad. This looks really nice. The D9 Blends Fruity Pebbles 900 milligram blend HXC THCV D9 live rosin cartridge.
THCA, okay.
This is a 2-gram cartridge. Also the D9 blends. And this is the one he said was a heavy. You could put him on the table.
Yeah.
This is the one he said was a heavy hitter. The Pixie Pod. It's supposed to be it's their live diamond blend, super lemon haze, 4-gram disposable, 64.38% THC. This is a strong one. This is a good one. So shout out to BakeBox. Shout out to BakeBox for their merchandise. Oh shit. Yeah, this is good stuff. I'll have to have Jalen try some of this stuff.
Oh, and they actually got a thing too.
Yeah. That's it. And then
4 grams. I ain't never seen a thing with 4 grams.
This is the main event. Shop Galaxy Treats in the description. Link is in the description. We will have a code soon. I'm working with the marketing team to get a code. We will have a code, but they sent a large box. This is a big box.
That is.
They sent a packing list, but I'm not going to read the packing list. I'm just going to open the box. Let's open. Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
Merch? Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Is that what's in there?
Wait a minute. Okay, so Galaxy Treats is a company by Streamline Group. They are a delivery company, big wholesale distribution company.
Hey, that's nice.
So you got all of their brands on the back.
I thought it was a sweatshirt at first. Okay.
They are on the Porsche racing team. Juicehead, True Meat Nootropics, Micro. You have these, Owen, the micro gummies. I gave Owen some of these micro gummies. They are good. If you guys are wondering, the Orbital I have in here. I think the Galaxy Treats logo here. Alcohol Armor, this is great. Alcohol Armor. If you haven't tried it, before you're going out, try it out. Yeah, thank you.
Wait, what's Alcohol Armor?
It's supposed to help you
like not
recover.
Or
no hangover.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I need that.
Shout out Streamline Group.
You got some of that? I need some of that. Before I go out tonight.
I don't think they sent that, but in the box we have the Orbital pre-rolls. Wow, Pineapple XTC. This is a full pre-roll pack.
Damn.
Huh. Okay. Shout out Orbital pre-rolls. You got the Cookie Monster Indica. You got the Tropical Trance. Okay. These are all different, I think. Oh, yeah, okay. Wait, look at this thing. The Micro Pen. 1 gram vape device. Oh yeah, this shit's tamper proof. This shit look nice. This one looks nice. Shout out Galaxy Treats, guys. Micro. And then we have something else in here too. What is this? 5 gram disposable. A box of them? Oh.
What?
A full case.
What? Oh, they hooking you up.
Oh, they hooked up. Shout out Galaxy Treats, guys. Holy shit. These are the Galaxy Treats live resin sauce, strawberry diesel box, but you get Blackberry Kush, Applejack, and Tropical Punch as well in the box. THCA, THCP, PHC for a awesome KO blend. They hooking us up for real. Yeah. Shout out Galaxy Treats, man. I might have to hook up our guest today up with some little stuff. Damn, this is shout out Galaxy Treats, guys. Look at that. Check that out. And what else we got in here? Oh, so I do have their full catalog in here.
And these are all disposable too. You don't even gotta recharge them.
Disposable. Damn, shout out Galaxy Treats. They got a lot of stuff. I'm gonna link them in the description so you guys can go check it out. But yeah, man, we're gonna have to try some of this stuff out. Yeah, man. Shout out Galaxy Treats, man, because they are great. Streamline Group. If you guys are looking for anything, if you're a wholesaler, if you're a business, if you're someone you need to get stuff, shout out Streamline Group. You can get a lot of stuff there. Bake Box as well. They have a lot of stuff on their website that you wouldn't see somewhere else. But yeah, today's episode is brought to you by Galaxy Treats. Shout out Galaxy Treats. Guys, we cannot forget Fruit Peels. You have to shop Fruit Peels. Guys, Fruit Peels, our loyal sponsor. Sponsor. Make sure you go to realfruitpeels.com. Code bullshit at checkout for 12% off. They're great. I'm going to hook, actually, what flavor you want?
I'll take the strawberry.
Strawberry.
Well, I'm gonna let my friend pick.
Okay. We'll let her pick. Yeah. We'll let her pick. But you gonna get some peels when you go today. You can try them out. You could let me know what you think. I don't have mango here yet, but we do have it in store. Okay. Peels, man. Peels. Never mind. I ain't even gonna ruin it. I ain't even gonna ruin the surprise. Shout out realfruitpeels.com. Go bullshit. Check out for 12% off. This was a good episode. I really like this.
I had a lot of fun.
And you know what? You know what was good about today is if you guys didn't know, I've never met him before. I've never met Darnell DJ before. Mm-hmm. It's our first time meeting, and it's very few times that I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone for this show. And today was a big day for us, meeting with someone that we haven't met before, who's doing big things in the community. This is what it's all about. This is the goal that I was intending for the show, is to reach people who need a platform to talk on. Obviously, we need to talk to people who already got their own thing going on to do that, because, that's just what it's all about. So this is a big step for us. This was a great day, great show. Yeah, maybe you guys will see some sneak peek shots he does for us after the show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But we'll definitely get something going. Yeah, man, this was great. It was great to meet you. It was great to bring you on. I'm gonna hook you up with some of our sponsor stuff. It's gonna be great. All right, should we do a shot to end this off? Should we do a little?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, and you want to bring the Terramana over here? Shout out Terramana if you guys want to sponsor us.
Get that sponsor.
Oh, you got a cup? You got our cups?
I think mine's that one right there.
That one's
on the right side. Yeah.
Let's do this.
Appreciate you.
Oh, is mine gone? Yeah. I'll pour a right shot.
Yeah. I say he had us in here lit. I ain't mad at it.
Last time I did pour a big shot for myself too.
Yeah, you good. I still got to drive a little bit, so we good.
There you go. Hey man, this was great. I hope to have you back on.
Oh, man,
I hope to bring you around too. I heard that some of the people I know, so we definitely gotta stay connected, man. We're gonna do cookouts. We're gonna do fucking shit going on. Photo shoots too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nice.
Well, yeah, great episode. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
We're gonna stay connected because
absolutely.
This is building connections. This is what this whole thing is about. So,
yeah, man. I was just talking to my friend about that, like community.
It's community, man.
Yeah, especially with creatives and stuff like that too. Like, it's a lot of talent in Peoria, in all honesty, and we just got to get connected.
Shout out your socials again. So
it's Darnell Delivers on everything. Darnell Delivers on Instagram. DarnellDelivers.com is my website. Okay. Facebook, all of that's the same. So yeah.
Book Darnell Delivers at DarnellDelivers.com.
Yeah, anything you need, I got you.
Yeah, shout out Darnell for coming on today. It was great. Make sure you watch the last one. Make sure you tune into the next one. Go check us out on all the social media at Beneath the BS. Tell your friends, tell your aunts, tell your uncles, tell your neighbor, tell the lady down the street with the 3 cats. All right, not above, not inside, but beneath. Fade to black. That was fucking sick, man. I love it.